Hi, I'm Alicia and I'm so excited to be working on the R&D for this baby opera. We follow a character called Capita, a pirate, a young naive pirate, and its first-hand deckmate, the parrot Para. And these two characters, they've got to work together to find their way off a desert island. They wake up and realise their ship's broken, their sail is torn, and they have to find their way home. So they work together through a series of songs and repair their sail, repair their ship, and then use the stars to guide them home.
This week is for exploration and kind of bringing everyone together, the whole creative team from the composer, librettist, designers, etc. Everyone to kind of share their ideas and kind of start collaborating on this new Capita's adventure. So the aims of the week are to kind of start making some music and to kind of explore the first and last song of the opera. We're also developing a lullaby as part of it to sing for people as they're going home. So it's an exciting time to kind of start messing around with music and different instruments that we have available to us. And then we're also going to be looking at the design and costume and how we can make interactive elements for parents and caregivers with their babies and other family members, and kind of just seeing what comes out of it as part of this kind of pirate adventure.
I first started working on this project back in May of 2023. Operasonic worked closely on the lullaby project, and I've been involved with the R&D for that for the deaf community, where we adapted the lullaby process, so writing a lullaby with caregiver for their child to strengthen their bond. And we worked on that to adapt it for a deaf and hard of hearing setting. I then took this, and Operasonic sent me to Carnegie Hall in New York for the lullaby convening in 2023. And whilst I was there, they were sharing on their other outreach projects and showed a segment of their baby opera, Otoya Toya. So I watched that and thought, wow, this is really cool. It was so beautiful. It was really calming. They definitely incorporated bits of the lullaby project, that aim of strengthening the bond between caregiver and child. And they've taken that into a project that involved languages, a lot of Spanish, which fit the needs of their community, but also other languages as well. And I was like, amazing. I was so captivated by this performance that I thought, okay, I would love to make something like that fit the needs of our local community here in Cardiff and Newport. So with that, came back, I texted Operasonic, I was like, I really want to make a baby opera. I would love for it to include BSL and also Welsh. And that's how we ended up with the start of this baby opera, incorporating 3 languages, Welsh, BSL and English. I also wanted it to include some aspects of cultural heritage, and Newport is a port city. There's also a shipwreck that's kept here at a museum, and I also just love pirates. So to me it seemed like the perfect way to combine all of these elements. It also fits in with Welsh folk music, sea shanties and captains and pirates. They fit in very nicely, and I thought it would be a great way to sort of try and embody the spirit of Welsh folk music. So then I had to think about the characters and what I wanted to include. At one point we had octopuses running around, and it definitely managed to tone it down, and we then ended up with Capita, a young pirate who's maybe a little bit grumpy and not so resilient. And then also Para, who is very eager and wants to prove himself and is always very excited to finish and get home. Operasonic work with a wide range of communities, but at its core, it's all about inclusivity, promoting Welsh language and culture, as well as also working closely with the deaf community. So we really wanted to make this the focus of our project. Because of that, we're working with a lot of deaf creatives. We've got Johnny Cotson as Para, and also he's working with a BSL consultant, so a dramaturg who works in BSL, who can help to fine-tune the BSL language. We wanted to give BSL the same platform as the English and the Welsh, so it was really important that we gave it the time and the space to be developed. We're also working with other deaf creatives in the space to ensure that the deaf person's perspective is very present through the R&D process. Myself as a deaf musician, I'm really helping with trying to bring in those perspectives of making the music accessible. We've got to think that, okay, yes, this is an opera, yes, it's in a folk style, but for every song, what elements are deaf people missing and how can we bring those in and support it with either visual cues or with lighting cues to make sure that the deaf person's experience is no less than that of hearings. But it's really important to us that this is a show that brings everyone together. So the Welsh language, the BSL and the English, they are all equally important. And it's very much about the integration of these communities, not just the accessibility level. So whilst, yes, it's for a deaf audience, it's also for a hearing audience, also for a Welsh language audience. It's about bringing these people together in a safe space so we can all learn and grow and be more mindful of each other.